Let's get to the Tyler Glasnow rumors first. Ken Rosenthal is with us right now. So, Ken, you've got the whole crew today fired up. What do you have for us on Tyler Glasnow? And what, if it happens, do you think it does to the Dodgers rotation?
What I have is just what we reported this morning, which is that Glasnow and Margot could go to the Dodgers. There are discussions about this right now for Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca. What it would do for the Dodgers, Scott, is obviously give them a starter. But at the same time, Pepio was slated to be in the rotation or is slated to be in the rotation. So they still are going to need more. And again, this deal is not done yet. It is not finalized. I'm not sure it's even in the medical review stage yet. There's some money that's going to have to go back to the Tampa Bay Rays. Wait, I'm screwing this up here. There will be some money in the deal covering the salaries, perhaps to some extent, of Glasnow and Margot, because there's a lot of money that will be going back to the Dodgers. It sounds odd. I know that Tampa Bay might cover some of the Dodgers' money issues here, but it could be that that's the case because they're getting quality in return if that is the deal, Pepio and DeLuca. So we have to see if this will all play out, if the names will remain the same, how much money might be involved in the deal. But this is a discussion that's taking place, and we'll see how it ultimately pans out.
Now, Ken, where does this put the Dodgers rotation? I know Glasnow will probably be a number one or number two for them. They got guys that are injured that are coming back on the way. I don't know exactly what their timetable is. For me, I feel like this would be a monster pickup for them, put them basically in the running to be one of the top teams to win it all next year. Would you agree?
I would agree, but they will still need to do more with the rotation. They've got Walker Bueller, they've got others as well, Bobby Miller, but Dustin May's out, Tony Gonsolin's out, Julio Urias is a free agent, not coming back because of the situation he's in. Kershaw conceivably could come back, but he is a free agent, and I've written about the Texas Rangers' interest in him. So they still need starters. They've got Emmett Sheehan, they've got Gavin Stone, some younger guys, but at the same time, this is a group that I am quite certain, even if the Dodgers get Glasnow, that the team will ultimately try to fortify it even more.
So who exactly? Because when you get traded to the Rays, people are like, or when the Rays call and say, "Hey, we would love your pitcher," and you're as a team, you're like, I'm going to hold them back here. But when you get traded to the Dodgers, they're like, oh, wait. They're really big in picking up value. Who, what position does this put the Rays in? Does this put the Rays in a position of, hey, we're going to build up with Pepio and this is just what we do because we don't have enough money? Or is this a position that they're improving because Pepio could be a guy that could make 32 starts?
It could be that, Eric. Certainly, though, what is driving this is money. Their payroll, if I'm not mistaken, is up around 120 million. It's never been above 85 million. So they're in a spot here where they just feel they're not comfortable with the money that they will be paying out to players. So what they do is what they always do. They try to trade the expensive guys for younger guys with greater club control, and that is how the Rays roll. They've done a great job of it over the years. If you remember, I don't know, I can go talk about many pitchers they've traded. Chris Archer, Matt Garza. Glasnow is a little bit different situation. 1 year of club control remaining at 25 million, but this is a Rays kind of trade. So to me, it's just the Rays operating as business as usual.
So are the Rays going to have enough? Because the Rays, got off to the hot start last year, kind of faltered, obviously, at the end, got beat by the Rangers in the postseason. Pepio, okay, I don't know anything about the prospect. Pepio showed some flashes last year. Obviously, the Dodgers like him. If you're the Rays, gosh, I almost want to think. I know the money is the issue always with Tampa Bay, but wouldn't you like to see, hey, if we get off to a great start with Glasnow, we keep him, and if we don't, then let's trade him at the deadline. I guess there's more of an incentive to trade him now because the Dodgers would get a full year of him. And then my other thing is from the player side of it, if this trade doesn't go through, it sucks for those guys that you named and other people have named in this trade for being traded. How do you combat that as an organization if, I don't know, something falls through and then you go to Tyler Glasnow and you say, oh, no, buddy, we're just kidding. We really, really like you.
First of all, the problem with holding Glasnow, AJ, is that he gets hurt a lot. And if you hold him and he gets hurt and you're waiting till the deadline and he's on the IL, you get nothing. So this is the time to trade him. When he is healthy, when you have a full year of control that you are willing to offer, that is why they will do this. Now, as for the players involved, I understand what you're saying, AJ, and teams are always reluctant to have reports out there about players in trade talks because of exactly that. That what if it falls apart? Their names are out there. In the case of Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot, their names have been out there. They won't be shocked to see that they're part of a trade discussion. With the younger players, yes, it's a little bit different, but AJ, my feeling is this is Major League Baseball, and these are players people know about. Pepio and DeLuca, Dodger fans certainly know about them, and part of the business of this game is trade talk. And sometimes things like this happen where names get out there, but at the same time, I don't feel squeamish about this kind of thing at all because these guys are big boys. I think they're comfortable with it. They understand that it's part of the game. It's not great. I get it for them, but to me, they have grown up understanding what media is. They're not new to this.
In a time when we're talking about sources, incredible sources, do you ever feel like teams offer you or offer reporters sources to, or a source, a quote, trade to kind of throw it out there that, hey, you know what? This team could want this. We'll show that this team, that the Dodgers will give us this for Glasnow. Do you ever feel like you get played sometimes, or is that not a thing because you've vetted your sources and you've been in the game for a long time?
That happened to me once, Eric. I've talked about it quite a bit. And it was the Max Scherzer trade that I reported as close to the Padres a couple of years back at the deadline. Ultimately, it went to the Dodgers. It took me almost 2 years to figure this out, but one of the sources played me, and I misinterpreted what the other source said, or I kind of took his response and considered it more of a confirmation when it might not have, or wasn't that. So does it happen frequently? No, it does not happen frequently. What is much more frequent, what is an everyday thing, is guys like me trying to get information and getting shut down. That is the common 99% of the time situation. So is it possible reporters get played? Yes, I know there was a lot of talk about that last week with what happened with the Toronto situation. I don't believe that was the case. I don't believe those reporters were played because I know that I was talking to similar people at the same time and not getting the same answers. So it's a complicated thing, but at the same time, this idea of manipulation and leaks and getting views and all of this, people in baseball like to talk about that. People who are fans like to talk about that. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't happen nearly as much as people think. Sometimes with agents, yes, that's more common, but it's pretty rare when people just offer you things. That's not happening that often.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ken, how often are you on Flight Tracker? Like some of your colleagues were, and following flights around the country to try to dissect where's going where. And do you watch Shark Tank?
I don't watch Shark Tank. And actually, AJ, when that was going on with Flight Tracker, I thought to myself, and I mentioned to a couple of colleagues, I need to figure out how to do that. Because that is actually a valuable tool. It actually is a valuable tool if you can figure out where guys are going. Now, after I reported prior to that there was a meeting between the Blue Jays and Ohtani at the spring training complex in Dunedin, people kind of reverse flight track that and found the flight. So I was thinking, wow, that's pretty effective. Now, it's not always going to be accurate, as we saw, but that would be a nice tool to have in my tool chest.